Welcome to Yoga Wellness Instructor course. Today's topic is concept of mental well-being according to Patanjala Yoga. So far, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we have discussed the few topics. One is definition of yoga, yoga chittavritti nirodha. Then how to do the chittavritti nirodha? By abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. That is the main topic in our first chapter according to our syllabus. Then one more topic also we have seen according to the syllabus. They are antarayas, the distractions or obstructions in the process of our progress or in the path of yoga. And how to overcome those obstructions also we have seen. Then in the second chapter, another important topic according to our syllabus is Ashtanga Yoga. And this Ashtanga Yoga is given into the two different sections under Bahiranga Yoga, Yama Niyama Asana Pranayama Pratyahara is a one topic. Under Antaranga Yoga, Dharana Dhyana Samadhi is a one topic is given. But even though Yama Niyamas are given under this Bahiranga Yoga, and there is a one more specific topic, a specific section is given in the unit number 2, section number 10. How these Yama Niyamas are going to work for the mental well-being. But if you look at the topic, nowhere it mentions as a Yama Niyamas. Topic suggests concept of mental well-being according to Patanjali Yoga. What else can be there? So there is only Yama Niyamas helps us for our mental well-being according to the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Yama, what is the Yama? Universal commandments. Universal commandment means how one has to live in the society for the harmony of the society. Niyamas, the personal disciplines, how one has to live to reach the goal in our life. So hence this Yama and Niyama together, Yama Niyamas plays a very important role in our life. What is the connection for the mental well-being for this Yama Niyamas? That's what we are going to see now. Okay. Under the Yama, there are 5 topics. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya. Now let us discuss these points. Ahimsa, non-violence. Satya, truthfulness. Asteya, non-stealing. Brahmacharya, celibacy. Aparigraha, not to be greedy. Let us discuss one topic. Now when we say ahimsa, this ahimsa can be followed by our actions, by our speech, by our thought. So don't harm, don't hurt anyone through your actions, through your speech, through your thoughts. Through your thought means not even entertain the jealousy thoughts, negative thoughts in your mind. That is the idea. Let me tell a story which is revealed by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Guru of Swami Vivekananda. Let us understand this ahimsa better through story. There is a village, outskirts of the village, few children are playing. Generally children goes outside the village, nicely they will play there. And from there, some distance, maybe 1 or 2 kilometers, there is a snake hill. In that a black cobra is living. Very dangerous black cobra. Whoever comes in that path, this black cobra comes out, bites that person will die. And one day, a yogi came to that village, and this yogi want to go to the next village through that path. As he is going, when he entered outskirts of the village, all these children saw this yogi and came rushingly towards the yogi. Sir, please don't go in this path. There is a black cobra is there. If you go, this cobra comes out and it bites, people will die. So hence, please don't go. There is one more route from other side. Please go from that route. That is a safe. This yogi says to the children, my dear children, thank you so much for giving this information, but still you don't worry. I know how to handle the snakes. I know how to talk with the snakes, so I can go. So children, whatever they know, they expressed this yogi, but yogi is not listening to these children. So yogi started walking in the path. Now these children are very curious. Oh my God, what is going to happen? There is a black cobra is there, very dangerous. And this yogi, because these children don't know that he is a yogi. This person is not listening to us, simply just going. Then from the distance, from a long distance, these children are watching this yogi, thinking what is going to happen now. As the yogi reached that particular place, as usual, this black cobra came out to bite this person. Immediately, this yogi with his yogic powers stopped the snake. Not only stopped the snake, he communicated with the snake. He told, since how long you are going to be like this? Huh? In your previous life also, you have done so many things, this thing, that thing. Because of that, this life you become a snake, is not good for you. Now you need to realize yourself, you need to come out, all these things. So in his own language, the yogi communicated with the snake. This snake also able to understand, because the yogi is speaking in the snake language. So the snake understood. Then snake requested the yogi, sir, can you please help me so that I can take a good life in the future? So I can be a good being. Then this yogi said, now onwards, don't bite anyone. So I will come back after a couple of weeks. That time I can spend more time with you. I can give some upadesha to you. Now I need to go to the other village. All my students are waiting there. So hence, now onwards, you don't bite anyone. When I am coming back, definitely I will do some upadesha to you. I will give some information to you. Snake said, thank you so much. And the yogi started walking. From the distance, children are watching. Oh my God. This time, this snake didn't bite. It means, as this person told, he knows how to handle the snakes. This person might have been told something to the snake. They got little confidence. Oh, I think today onward, this snake is not going to bite because it didn't bite this person. Next day, children slowly started coming closer to the snake hill. Not that much close, just closer. And days are passing. Now children are getting the more and more confidence, because they are coming closer to the snake hill, but snake is not harming them. As the days are passing on, children are children. They started collecting the stones and hitting the snake. Till snake didn't do anything. Children are children. And one of the naughty child took a stick, started beating the snake. Snake didn't do anything. After a few days, these children got more confidence. One of the naughty and strong child went near the snake, caught the tail of the snake, lifted the snake, rotated in the air, and hit it to a rock. So this snake went and hit it to a rock, and blood is coming out from the snake. It went into the unconsciousness. And these children thought, oh, snake might have been died. They went away. Over a night time, during the night time, the snake slowly came into conscious and went walking into the its hill, its house, the snake hill. Next day when the children came, they saw there is no snake. They thought, because in the village outskirts, if something is died, some other birds and other things comes and they will take it out. They thought, okay, maybe some eagles, some other things came, they are lifted this snake out. So this very clear, there is no more snake is died. Now few days passed away. This Mahatma, this yogi started coming back. These children saw him, so went near him rushingly, saying, what you did we don't know. Now the snake is no more, snake is died. He said, snake will not die, so you don't worry. You can go and play, mind your own business kind of thing. These children thought that time also this fellow didn't listen to us. Now also is not listening. Why should we bother with him? Let us go and play. So all the children went away. This yogi went near the snake hill, called the snake. Snake came slowly outside. So skinny, no energy. And the yogi asked the snake, what happened to you? And snake narrated the complete story. You only told me not to bite anyone, so hence I didn't do anything. So children, they are hitting me, they hitted me with the stones and with the stick and all these things, it said. Then yogi asked the snake, what did I say? What I told you? Not to bite. Correct. I told you not to bite. I never told you not to hiss. In the first instance, when some child thrown the stone at you, if you would have raised your hood, if you would have hissed that boy, that child, the children would have been ran away from you. I told not to bite. I never told not to hiss. So let us analyze, reflect on this story for ahimsa. So what is ahimsa? Ahimsa, in the name of ahimsa, the so-called people, what they are doing, they are not hurting others, very good thing, but they are allowing others to hurt them. What is ahimsa? Ahimsa is don't hurt others, don't allow others also hurt you. Be practical. So what is ahimsa? Don't hurt others, don't allow others to hurt you. If you are allowing the others to hurt you, means you are encouraging the himsa in others. Understand the ahimsa. Develop the power, simultaneously develop the kindness. Mind is so peaceful, so happy. Next comes the satya. Satya means truthfulness. So we have to speak the truth. Why we should speak the truth? A simple answer. Because if I ask someone what I expect, if I am asking something, the Prema Amma, what I expect from her? I expect the truth from her. Hence, it is my responsibility to speak the truth to Prema Amma. Because when I ask, I expect the truth, hence I should speak the truth. This is simple logic. Now from this simple logic, let us have the more discussion. There is a person who is visually challenged, like a blind, cannot see, visually challenged, Divyanga. Can I call a blind man, come here? I am speaking the truth. I am speaking the truth. A blind, come here. Can we call like that anyone? No. Most of them are shaking their head left to right, neck exercise. Very good. Why not? I am speaking the truth. Patanjali Maharshi told we should speak the truth. I am speaking the truth. Why you tell me that you should not speak like this? Yes, we should not speak. Why? Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, satyam api apriyam na bruyat. Speak the truth, but it should be pleasing. Speak the truth, but it should be pleasing. Satyam api, even though it is the truth, apriyam na bruyat, even though it is the truth, if it is unpleasing or if it is hurting someone, don't speak. Our Subhashita says beautifully, Satyam bruyat, speak the truth, but it should be priyam bruyat, it should be priyam. Satyam api, even though it is a satyam, apriyam na bruyat. Don't speak the apriyam, unpleasing. Here we'll take one example. A person goes to the doctor and doctor suggests some of the tests and reports comes. Doctor is seeing all the reports and doctor understood according to his medical knowledge, this person, this patient is not going to survive more than 2 weeks or more than 1 week or 2 weeks. Okay, I am a doctor. Now I have seen all your reports. Your report says that in a 2 weeks you are going to die. So hence go away from here. I am speaking the truth. Can we say like that to the patient? That in 2 weeks you are going to die as per your reports? No. But I am speaking the truth, my dear. Even though it is a truth, apriyam, not pleasing. So what the doctor says? I have seen your reports. Seems to be everything is fine. You need not worry much. We are having the treatments. We are having the specialized doctors. We will take care. You will be all right. He knows that he is speaking the lies with the patient. No? Can we speak the lies? If situation demands, you can speak. Because your intention is very clear. Why doctor can say like that everything is okay? Because again dharma walks in. What is the dharma? What is the professional ethics of a doctor? Professional ethics of a doctor is not to speak the lies, but the professional ethics of a doctor is don't hurt the patient. Because if you speak the truth, if you reveal the truth, patient may, if that person is having some heart attack, the heart is weak, instead of after 2 weeks, that person may jump now itself. Anything may happen. Benefit of doubt. There are some people we can take it very courageously. They can still survive. They can undergo the things. They can change the thing with their willpower. But how we know whether this person is having that willpower or not? So hence the benefit of doubt. As per the protocol of the doctors, doctor will say very pleasingly. So what is the most important value in our life is ahimsa. So keeping the ahimsa in your mind, you handle the other values. Ahimso paramo dharmaha. Ahimsa becomes the parama dharmaha. So keeping the ahimsa in your mind, handle other values. Because ahimsa is the most important thing in our life. But you should know what is ahimsa also. Ahimsa means it's not that I follow ahimsa, but I don't bother others. No. You don't hurt and don't allow others also to hurt you. This is a beautiful topic, this Yama Niyamas. And next comes Asteya. Asteya means non-stealing. We should not steal others' belongings. Why? Simple logic. If someone steals my belongings, I don't feel comfortable. Hence, I should not steal other belongings. Simple. Here, I need not to go too much details here. Okay. And there is one more thing. Why we have to speak the truth? Otherwise, you have to remember so many things. What I spoke to this person, what I spoke to that person, what I spoke to the other person. You have to remember everything. So if you speak the truth, you need not to try to remember because you are speaking the fact. So hence, speak the truth, but at the same time, your truth should follow in the line of the value ahimsa. That is a good enough. Now, asteya also, it should follow in the line of ahimsa. Because when you are stealing someone's things, you are hurting others. They will be suffering. They will be sad. It means you are hurting others by stealing the things. So it is not there in the line of ahimsa. So hence we need to follow the ahimsa to maintain the social harmony. Then next comes brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means we have translated as a celibacy. Here we need to understand very clearly what is the brahmacharya. The etymological meaning of the brahmacharya is, or brahmachari. I will take the brahmachari, then we will discuss about the brahmachari. Brahmane charane iti brahmachari. One who contemplates on the Brahman all the time is called brahmachari. Don't worry about the gender here. So that contemplation is called brahmacharya. The activity. Charya means activity. So activity about the Brahman. That means Brahmane charane iti. All the time thinking about the Brahman is called brahmacharya or brahmacharya. One who follows this brahmacharya is called brahmachari. If it is a man, if it is a woman, brahmacharini. Who is the best example for this brahmacharya? Sri Krishna is the best example for the brahmacharya. How come? I know that Sri Krishna is having the 8 wives. And one day what happened, he is used to live on the banks of the Yamuna river. And there is one mother. This mother takes the food to a sadhu who is living the other side of the Yamuna river. A great sadhu. And this mother takes the food every day to serve that sadhu. And one day, this Yamuna is what you call flooded. Yamuna is flooded. And this mother cannot go other side of the river to give the food to that sadhu. She was so much worried. Oh my God, how should I go? Because I am the only one giving, because I have taken the responsibility. If I don't serve the food, that sadhu will not have the food. He has to starve, so that Papa will come to me. Oh my God, what to do? She went to the Krishna. Raja Krishna, please help me. So this is a situation. Then Krishna told, don't worry, go to the Yamuna river and request the Yamuna river with your prayer saying, Nitya Brahmachari Krishna is requesting you to provide the path to cross the river. She goes there, she prays, Nitya Brahmachari Krishna is requesting you to give the path to me to go other side of the river. Yamuna gives the path. And this mother walks nicely and goes there, serves the food to that sadhu, and now again she has to come back. She started worrying again, thinking, so sad. And the sadhu asked, hey mother, what happened to you? You know what to say, the Yamuna is flooded, I cannot cross. Then how you came here? I went to the Krishna. Krishna told her like this. I did the same prayer, so I came. I asked only to come from there to here. Now what to do? This sadhu just now ate fully whatever she brought. Now tells her, mother, don't worry. Go to near the Yamuna river and pray, saying, Nitya Upavasi sadhu is requesting you to give the path. and she goes and prays the Yamuna river. Yamuna river gives the path. Mother comes other side. What he said? Nitya Upavasi. Nitya means eternal. Upavasi means one who is doing the fasting, not eating anything. Just now he ate. Whatever she brought, he ate just now. But he said Nitya Upavasi, where Krishna says Nitya Brahmachari. That is an indication he will have the peacock feather on the head. The peacock feather indicates the Brahmachari. That is a symbolized one. How can I understand? Here Nitya Brahmachari, here Nitya Upavasi. Yes, he is a Nitya Brahmachari, he is a Nitya Upavasi. Because their mind is contemplating only on the Ishvara Tattva. Like, this is very easy to understand. It is not complicated. I will make everyone to understand very easily because you all are doing the same thing. Benefit of doubt, I don't say that you all are doing, but as a benefit of doubt, what we do? We will keep the TV on, eating, eating, watching only the TV. We don't know what is going inside. The salt is there, these are there, that are there. Just simply eating, watching it the TV. What is there in your mind? Whatever is coming in the TV, that only is there. You are not a brahmachari. You are a TV chari. Nitya TV chari. Taking the coffee, reading the newspaper. Taking the tiffin, what is happening in the world? Let me watch the TV, the serials. All the time. When are you giving the mind? Are you doing any activity, mindfulness? At least when you are eating? No, all the time mind is going around. While eating, why you want to watch the TV? No, we should know. This is the only time you know. Otherwise, we don't get the time. So mind is dwelling only on this chatta news. Chatta means like a garbage news, and that comes in you. Then afterwards, how you expect that? Please watch the one advertisement. Recently, I saw this Viva phone advertisement. The advertisement is so beautiful. Just 2 minutes, wonderfully presented this topic. It says that 2020, because of the lockdown, this pandemic situation, everyone is stayed at home only, correct? So advertisement says, we stayed together or we lived together. Just we stayed together. Everyone is having their own electronic gadgets, and while eating also, oh my God, this fellow is eating, checking the WhatsApp messages. Eating, all the 4 people are sitting together and eating together, but they are not together. Because everyone is engaged in their own mobile phone. So we stayed together, we are staying together, we are not living together. Namesake outside, this is my spouse, this is my children, we are all together. Where you are together, my dear? Contemplate, reflect. So what is a brahmacharya? Brahmane Chirane iti brahmachari, one who contemplates on the Brahman all the time. Brahman means the truth, the reality. That person, one who is following this brahmacharya, that person is called brahmachari, that person is called brahmacharini, depending upon gender. In brahmacharya, there is no gender. No man, no woman. Hence, Ardhanarishwara Tattva is given to indicate neither man nor woman. That is a brahmacharya. Then why the translations is given as a celibacy? Yes, the reason it is given as a celibacy, because when you follow this brahmacharya, contemplating on the Brahman all the time, your energies are preserved. So when you are preserving your energy, that is called celibacy, also helps to preserve your energies. But this celibacy, not physically, you may not having the sexual activity, but mentally all the time thinking about the sexual activities, where you are going to preserve the energy. The mind plays important role. Mentally, you need to able to balance the things. Mentally, you need to able to contemplate on the Ishvara. Physical activities are the secondary. Physical activities will not have the impact. Only the mental activities will have the more impact. The so-called psychosomatic disorders are coming from the mind. They are called Adija. Adija means that which is taking birth from the mind is called Adija. So from the Adija, it will become the reflecting on the body. So hence, whatever you are doing according to the local laws, you follow. But what is important in the spiritual path? Your attitude is most important. More than what you are doing, with what attitude you are doing is important in the spiritual path. Of course, what you do the physically also is equally important for the locally, for fulfilling the local rules and regulations. But for our spirituality, your mind is important. There are so many stories we can going on talk on this topic. So you please watch our YouTube Patanjali Yoga Sutras, there where we are taken an opportunity to elaborate with the so many stories when this topic comes. Then comes the aparigraha. What is aparigraha? Aparigraha, not to be greedy. Mahatma Gandhi says beautifully, the nature is providing everything as per your need, but not for your greed. So aparigraha is live a life comfortably. We need to understand the difference between the comfort and luxury. No one says you should not live comfortably. Live a comfortable life, nothing wrong. Of course, we are not even saying that luxury life is wrong. We are not saying luxury life is wrong, but not required for us. If you are in the path of yoga, if you want to have the peace of mind, if the luxuries are there, you can able to enjoy. If the luxuries are not there, also you should able to enjoy. There are people, they are having so many facilities on the bedroom. Nice bedroom, super sceneries, spend some lakhs of rupees. Nothing wrong. But when you lie down on the bed, you don't get the sleep. What is the use? So we need to able to get sleep when we lie down. That is important. So hence, aparigraha, you need to have your comfort zone. You need not to suffer for basic things. You need to have the proper shelter to protect your body from the heat and cold. You need to have the proper food to take care of your body and mind. You need to have the proper clothes to protect your body from the nature, from the heat and cold. You need to have the comforts. And these days, in a 20 years ago, mobile phone was a luxury. Now today, mobile phone is become a common thing. So try to understand, discriminate what is luxury, what is comfort, have your comfort zone. Don't be greedy. If it comes, let it come. But you don't go for greeting the things, I want this, I want this, I want this. But you need to get everything for your comfort zone. Don't suffer physically and mentally. That is about aparigraha. So when we follow these 5 principles, these 5 values, how much peace we will have, so much peaceful we have. So mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause for your bondage, for your suffering. Mind alone is the cause for your freedom, your happiness. Following these principles, keeping in the dharma as a core value, and putting the emphasis more emphasis on the ahimsa, lead a life. Mentally you will be so happy. Mentally, when we are so happy, we can be away from so-called psychosomatic disorders. harmony will be there in the society, harmony will be there in the family. Most of the time, why the disturbance in the harmony takes place in the family, in the relations, in the society? Because not able to understand these values properly. So understand these values properly and try to implement, then life will be so beautiful. Relations are wonderful. Families can be so harmony, so happy. It affects the society also in a harmony and be happy. So this is good enough for us to discuss about the concept of mental well-being according to Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And the next class I will deal this niyamas also, how these niyamas we need to follow. In the next time I will take another couple of minutes, like a 15 to 20 minutes, then we will conclude the niyamas from the mental well-being aspect. Okay. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ तत्सत्. ॐ. Thank you.